So the next stop on the Road of Life podcast with John Miller, we have Donald Terry, a man who's walked life's road and lived numerous lives. And I guess, Don, for the start, we could say you are definitely a survivor, are you not?
Yeah, that'd be a good way to put it.
Yeah, Don, how you doing today?
Not too bad, brother.
Good stuff. Don, starting off, where were you born?
I was born here in Moncton.
Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada, on Canada's eastern seaboard. What kind of family were you born into? Mom and dad, brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I had my mom and dad, who spent 50 years of marriage. My dad passed away in 2014, unfortunately, to cancer. And my brother, Rob, he passed away just recently, about 3 months ago, suddenly to a massive heart attack. And then I have my mom, who's a survivor, and my sister, who, God love her, that's all I can say.
God help her.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. That's my family.
What year were you born?
1967.
The last year the Leafs won the Stanley Cup.
That's right. They made that song just for me.
So next year you'll be 60.
Yeah.
Wow,
crazy, right?
Big 6-0 next year. Wow,
crazy.
Okay. Good stuff.
I'm looking forward to it.
So yeah, that's for sure. You got a sibling that's still living and stuff like that, and you still have your mom.
Yeah.
You have a wife and kids?
Yeah. I have my wife, Christy, of 30 years. Married. We just celebrated our 30-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
By
Congratulations.
wedding renewal.
Congratulations.
And then I have my two beautiful boys, Connor and Tristan.
Mm-hmm.
Connor is a self-sufficient man, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He actually just got hired on at an HVAC company.
Wow.
He was the lot manager at Chrysler Dodge, but these people saw his fortitude, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And hired him on the spot. They wanted him to come work because they hired him on to do their maintenance on their vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, well, we're stupid if we pass this guy up. So that was just a couple of days ago. He just signed the paperwork to do that.
Yeah, excellent.
And my oldest son is Tristan. He's a fireman.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
He just graduated from Miramichi College there last year.
Oh, excellent.
And yeah,
Good stuff.
very proud of them. Yeah,
So starting out in life, what did you do? What did you do for a career starting out in life?
Well, I was a musician for quite a while, and then I got into trucking, which was the worst thing I ever did. And I spent 24 years doing that, and then I come over to Kodiak.
Which is the bus company for Moncton, New Brunswick.
Yeah, and spent a few years there, and then had to retire.
So the main reason you retired was you were having heart trouble?
I had a massive heart attack in 2015, which kind of smartened me up. And I tried to maintain myself at work. It just wasn't working out. Everything was failing. The harder I pushed, the worse it got. So, as a man, that's not good for us, right? For our psyche and our. So I had to retire.
You've had a few heart attacks, haven't you?
3 of them.
3 heart attacks.
Yeah.
And you survived. Now that's a survivor.
Yeah. They can't kill me.
When did the first one happen, Don?
The first one, and that was when I turned 40. Yeah, when I turned 40.
And then the second one?
Was 45. I was keeping them on a level.
Not mean to laugh, but boys, oh boys. And then the third one happened when you were?
Yeah, it was 2015 when I was 48.
48 years old.
Yeah.
3 heart attacks and you survived them all.
Yeah.
Now, I remember one time you mentioned you went to St. John into the heart hospital, and they actually lost you on the table. Something happened when you were on the table.
That was when I was having my heart attack. I went into the hospital at Moncton Hospital, and I passed away on the table while they were trying, working on me, trying to get my heart settled, and I passed away. I do believe it was for 5 minutes.
Wow.
While they worked to get me back, and they got me back, thank God. Most people don't come back from a massive heart attack, but
No.
I was young enough and lucky enough that that's what happened.
Another day of grace, eh?
Look, every day I wake up, I smile.
Wow, that's for sure, man. Wow. What did it feel like passing away? What did that feel like to you?
Well, most people in that have a near-death experience when they pass away, depending on the length or, but everybody's death is personal to themselves and different, right? Most people will say they saw a light and so on and so forth. So I had my experience, and it woke me up.
Sure did. So how do you do things differently now that you've woken up in life?
Well, I needed something in my life that was different, that was going to help me, mentally and physically. So I looked around. I wasn't a very Christian person. I didn't see organized religion as a good thing because we were left out. Let's put it this way. We're not given the full story, right? And I'm the type of person that I need the full story. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in God greatly. My family was very religious. My dad was, a minister. And my brother was studying to be a minister. So I had my avenues there, but I didn't know what to do. But I know I needed something in my life after passing away and what I was shown. So I embraced.
What were you shown?
We don't think death is what we think it is. My father visited me and in my death experience, and it was just like you and I sitting here talking, John. There was no difference. I had no idea I was gone. I had no idea that I was gone for those 5 minutes. It was just, but I should have realized that I was talking to my dead father, who passed away in 2014, but it didn't dawn on me that way.
What
right?
did he say to you?
Just that I needed to get my problem solved, and I needed to find my answers, and they were out there, and then he was going to show me some things in that I needed to know along the way that I needed for myself. Because of the experiences and that I grew up with, and how people were. I was very disillusioned in the world.
That's not hard to happen in the world today, is it?
It's very easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy to become disillusioned.
Yeah, for sure.
I became angry with the world and people around, and found fault in a lot of things. But people in that had also, how would I say that? Confirmed what I was thinking, and the way they acted towards me, and how they abused and used me, and so on and so forth, right? It happens a lot. So once your brain starts to figure that out, see, it's like your brain goes, okay, so something bad's going to happen, and then it does. So you've already solidified that in your mind, that this is how things go, right? So you're constantly looking for that kick in the ass, more or less, right? So I became very disillusioned and hid myself away for a while. Well, the blessing was, when I did that, I found Buddhism. I started meditation when I was 2 years before the heart attack, because I needed something to calm myself, because I was just angry at everything. And so I found the meditation, and the meditation, I took to it like water. It was great. I fell in love with it, and I learned several different styles of meditation. I started with transcendental meditation, which was great. It led me on that path that I was looking for.
So what is transcendental meditation?
Transcendental meditation is a deeper meditation, but you use a mantra, which is basically a vibration or a sound that your brain appreciates or loves, and it takes you deeper into your mind. It's a beautiful meditation. It helps a lot of people with depression and anxiety and stuff like that. So I embraced that for a while. And then I wanted to learn different styles. So I learned Buddhist Samatha, which is a Buddhist temple meditation from Tibet. I loved it. I thought this is where I need to be. This is the meditation that I need to be doing. And it was very easy to do. I get into, what do they call that? Mindfulness meditation, which I could be awake for more or less. I could be in that meditative state, but I could still have my eyes open and appreciate everything around me, but on a deeper level, right? So, if a breeze blew across my skin, normally I wouldn't notice that. But I notice it right away and appreciate it right away. It was a calming effect. It wasn't an irritation to the day. It was, you learn to appreciate life and the things around you on a greater level, right? You learn to calm your mind. Once you learn to calm your mind, everything falls into place. You're able to take the good with the bad, right? The yin and the yang. So that in balance in life, everything has a purpose, right? You have your yin and your yang, your balance to life. If your life is out of balance, nothing's going to mix, nothing's going to jam together, right? No matter how much you force it. And that's what I was doing. I was forcing life instead of letting life flow and then just jumping in and appreciating that flow however it is. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. But you have to realize that the bad days don't last, just like the good days don't last. That's your yin and your yang. Once that's out of balance, everything's out of balance. The world's out of balance, you're out of balance, family is out of balance, work's out of balance, everything's out of balance. So I had to learn to get that back. It took me 8 years of study and philosophy to get that back. 8 years I lost.
Who did you study with?
I studied with Master Shea Heng Yi, and I studied with a man over in Riverview. His name was Laurence. He taught me the Transcendental Meditation. Namchak, can't say enough about them. Great people, helped me, financially and with my journey. They didn't charge me anything. They're along the Buddhist culture of giving. And at the time, when you're waiting for insurance to come in and things are tough, you need that help. Mm-hmm. And they were more than helpful. They were like, Dawn, come with us. You're a blessing. We need you in this atmosphere to help us, right? Mm-hmm. To spread our word and help people. And so that's what I did. I embraced it that way, that what I was doing was helping myself, but I was going to be able to help others along the way. Mm-hmm. So that's what I've done. I've turned myself around to helping others where they need it and where they don't have the money, or they can't afford the counseling. And this is just a way for them to calm their minds, especially for people that are very sick or having near death. This helps them calm themselves, learn that there is a reality after this, and it's just a way for me to give back. It helps me balance myself in that yin and yang, right? Mm-hmm.
So back to your near-death experience when you met your father, how did that change you?
How did that change me? Mm-hmm. I didn't realize what happened until I woke up, and my wife came in, and I looked at her and I said, I talked to Dad. And she looked at me and I don't doubt it, because Christy, she's great. She puts up with my moron-ness, I guess. some of the things in that there over the years, I imagine she's looked at me and said, "Are you stupid?" Or, but she's helped me. She's embraced it. So when I said, I talked to Dad, and she believed me. I didn't have to say, "I don't feel right about this. I don't want to talk about it," because most people that have near-death experience don't understand what's happened, or they don't want to talk about it because people see themselves in a different aspect, right? And others that look at them, they're afraid that they're going to say, "Are you nuts?" But everybody that passes away and comes back has that near-death experience and has it very, a story to tell. But it's different from my story. See, when you pass away, it's how you're perceiving death. It's, the persons that you say come to you. Well, you call upon them. They come to you because in death, you want them there. That's your experience. So some people say, "I saw a white light, I traveled into heaven, it was beautiful." That's what they want their death to be. If you pass away in violence and hatred, that's what you're going to receive. That's where people say, "I seen hell, I seen demons, I see." That's what you're perceiving your life to be. You died in hatred, and you're living in hatred in the next life. So it's not what we think it is, but it's a transition into
Is it kind of like we reap what we sow?
Well, yeah, basically, because it's how you live your life. If you live your life in hatred and conflict, that's how you're going to pass, right? Because you're going to perceive yourself where what you've done wrong on your deathbed, you're going to repent for, but you're going to be fearful. So when you go into that death, you're fearful of hell, what you've been told. That's going to be your manifestation in that death, right? In that near-death experience where you're passing on to the next realm. Who's going to visit you when you're in that kind of shape? So it's going to be something wrong, it's going to be something hateful, it's going to be something evil in your mind. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to visit you. That's what's going to come to collect you.
That's pretty heavy.
It's not that you stay that way, though, because we're all souls. And when we transition into the next life, we chose to be here. We chose with our God, and we chose with our people that help us before we come to this world in birth, because we're given our souls in birth. That's been proven. So what happens is when we come to this world, we choose what we want to do before we come here. We choose our parents. We choose what we want for... See, we all have generational curses in lives, and you want to better that. So you come to earth for your experiences and what you want your soul to experience, so it enlightens your soul. Your soul knows that it needs the good and the bad in order to transition, in order to become a higher soul, like a more fluid soul, a more productive soul, right? So when your experience is here, you may be here for a short time, you may be here for a long time. You may come to experience sadness, you may come to experience hate, you may come to experience love, betrayal, anything that you want to experience to make your soul a better soul. So when things transition, when the world ends and things are spoken of in the Bible, I still believe that. Still believe that the world will come to an end one day.
Yep.
But we need to be prepared for the new world and to see our mistakes, and that's what these experiences on earth teaches us: love, compassion, hate, and we need to experience that to become a more rounded spirit, more rounded soul. So that's why we keep coming back. We could come back 1,000 times before we get it right. before, or we could just turn around and say, I don't want to do this anymore. And we have the right to do that as a soul, to turn our back and at their little light and say, I just want to go home. And then that's it. You don't come back to earth. You stay in the collective consciousness, where all the souls are.
Life is truly a road, is it not, Don?
It's a road with many paths. It depends on what you're going to choose.
Definitely a lesson journey, huh?
Yeah, it is.
All right. So Don Terry today is retired?
Yes.
You seem to be enjoying it.
Well, there's nothing I can do to stop it. I push so hard in life that I can't go back to work. My days I may have 3 good days and then a bad day, right? Where my body just can't keep up. It just doesn't want to do anything. And, with the heart and the diabetes and the neuropathy, I got diagnosed with that. So the nerves in my body are dying. And I experience pain, like unbelievable pain. And sometimes I don't sleep for days because of the pain. So the next day when I'm not in pain, I sleep. And that's, that's the ins and outs of it. Just to give you an idea of what I went through, John, I had the heart attack and the open heart surgery. That was pain and a realization that my life needs to change, right? So before that, I got diagnosed with diabetes. So you think that would be enough, right? So when I got diagnosed with diabetes, here's where things start to change for me. I got diagnosed with diabetes. Thought, okay, that's a kick in the ass, but we'll move on. My dad had it. And I saw him deal with it. And, I thought, okay, I'll deal with it. There's nothing else I can do. But I did that, and then I got fired from my job for having been diagnosed for diabetes. That'll put an anger into you, right? That'll put a why. So that became a battle of courts and, stuff like that. And I won the case, but didn't feel vindicated because why are people like this, right? Why do people want to hurt? So then I had the heart attacks. Then I had the massive heart attack and the open heart surgery. Then I found out that I had to have neck surgery because 2 discs in my neck had deteriorated and collapsed, and I was having problems turning my head to the left all the way. A lot of pain, a lot of headaches. So I said, I gotta check this out. So I had to have surgery on my neck to replace discs, and it didn't help. It fixed it, stabilized it, but it didn't help with the pain. It didn't help with the headaches. It left me incapacitated still. I said, okay, well, what are you gonna do, right? So after that, and then I got diagnosed with the neuropathy, that the nerves of my body were dying, and there's nothing they can do. There's no cure for it. It's just gonna be as it is, and I just have to try to keep myself comfortable or, active. So I embraced the Shaolin Temple, and I started training with the Shaolin Temple and Master Sheheng Yi to try to save my body from falling apart. And so I started the Qigong and the Kung Fu and the body hardening and just the mental attitude that they have that I embraced. I said, this is where, so it was one thing after another, pain after pain, adding on to it, right? So I was quite sick. It took me a long time in that there to see, we do something to ourselves as men, John. When we become sick and we can't work, what happens to your psyche as a man? Because this is beaten into us from birth, right? As a male, you have to be the provider. Mm-hmm. You're the hunter-gatherer, right? Mm-hmm. You're the great white hunter. You have to support and provide for your family. And what happens to a man when that happens? When you're taken out of that, there's a depression that sets in.
Yeah.
That's deadly. This is where a lot of men in that there give up and say, I just can't do this anymore, and they commit suicide. A lot of men do it because they just can't keep up anymore, mentally, physically. It just collapses on them. So I said to myself, this is going to change. This has to change because my body's falling apart. I'm falling apart. I wasn't getting any help at work, as you know that, right? So when the doctor said, are you going to continue to do this or are you going to die? And I said, what do you mean? He said, you're shutting down. You're going to die if you keep doing this. And I said, I can't do it anymore. And he said, no, you can't do it anymore. I've been trying to tell you this for 3 years that it's over, it's done with. You can't do this anymore. Your career as a driver that you spent 30 years building is done. That's a big blow for a man. Suddenly you can't provide for your family, but I could because I had my insurances, I built that, right? Even though I lost my career, I still had put in an avenue where my family was protected, right? Which is all I ever wanted, was my family to be protected. And because I have a great wife and a great family, everybody rallied around me and supported me. My sons helped, and they're very protective of me, John.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not allowed to lift anything anymore, that they're right over here helping. So
Good stuff.
And my wife, she helps a lot too. She understands that marriage is for life and we love each other, and sometimes it's not 50-50, it's 70-30. And she's had hers, where she was diagnosed as spinal stenosis, and she couldn't move days. Her back would swell up so bad that she couldn't move, and I had to be there for her. Even though I was falling apart, I had to be there for her. So that's what we did for each other for the last 30 years, especially the last 20.
30 years is a long time.
30 years. 30 years in that there love, sweat, tears.
Congratulations.
I mean, she nursed me back to health more times than the nurses at the hospital did. She took care of me through some pretty hard times, and she was strong. I married her. I thought she was just a young girl that, but there was a maturity about her that I was attracted to. And this is what it was. It was her parents built a stability into her, and as a person, she knew what love was, and she knew what family was, and she knew how to stand by me and correct me when I started pitying to myself, saying, I'm useless now. I can't do this. I can't do that. She says, so what? So we'll build a different life. We'll build different things together. We'll do different things. You need to embrace what you want to embrace, and I'm always there for you. I'm always right behind you. So when I started the Buddhism and that, she didn't look at me weird. Mm-hmm. She didn't challenge me and say, well, Don, Buddhism, But see, my wife knew I was a martial artist when I was younger, and she knew that I loved it, and I embraced the Asian culture because there was something about their culture that was ancient, that was it's like their peace was what I longed for. The way they act, the way they conduct themselves with honor and respect, and everything's about honor. Everything's about, respect. And I embraced that. I said, I got to get back to that. So I entered back into my martial arts experience and said, this is what I'm going to do to help myself.
People struggle, Don, in all facets and stations of life. In closing, what would you say to people who are struggling today?
Keep going. Keep going and keep searching. You'll find your peace. If you keep going and you're looking in the right directions And don't let anybody challenge your experience. Don't let anybody say what you're doing is stupid. Don't let anybody challenge in that there what you believe in and what you need to heal yourself and your soul. When you start to have problems, it affects not only your mind, but it affects your soul. And it wants to heal just along with your body and your mind. Once you start to calm yourself, everything will start to fall into place. You know, you need to search for those answers and keep searching until you find what resonates with you. Then you'll start to heal. Not everything is a pill. Not everything is an injection. Not everything is a drug. Not everything is alcohol. It's all about calming your mind, calming yourself, and experiencing love and compassion for what it is. It's not going to be on a daily basis, and you're not going to get it received all the time. But if you keep doing it, eventually things around you start to change for the better. You start to see beauty in life again. And that's what I appreciate. I'm never going to be better health-wise, but I am better as a person, and I'm calm now, and I love everything around me. I see the beauty in everything, even the bad. You know, we have to have it with the good. So,
Don, thanks so much. Folks, that's another episode with Don Terry, the Road of Life podcast with John Miller. It's available on numerous platforms such as Twitter, or X as they call it now, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course our major channel is on YouTube, Road of Life podcast with John Miller. If you would like to appear Road of Life with podcast with John Miller, feel free to reach out at Road of Life Podcast at Outlook.com. That's Road of Life Podcast at Outlook.com. Once again, Donald Terry, thanks so much for taking the time to share your journey with us today. All right. Take care.